As I mentioned this morning, I wanted to take some time to provide a company update and reflect on where we've been and where we're going. First, I want to share how excited I've been to get back into our schools. Not only have I been able to personally connect with so many of you, I've been able to see firsthand the incredible work happening in our classrooms. As a matter of fact, I was able to make it to 47 of our schools in 5 different states in 2023, and I am hoping to make it to that many in 2024. We've accomplished some incredible things since our Professional Development Day last October, and I want to highlight just a few. We've maintained national accreditation by the National Association for the Education of Young Children at nearly 100% of our schools. And all of our eligible schools have ECHO Healthy Childcare certification. Some of our schools have even volunteered to go above and beyond, achieving yet another accreditation from National Early Childhood Program accreditation. We also started to provide game day service for the Denver Broncos, in addition to another successful season of providing game day care for the families of the Minnesota Vikings. I guess you could say we're the provider of the NFL. And we've remained focused on offering competitive compensation and benefits. In Minnesota, we recently were able to permanently enhance compensation for our school employees, made possible through new state funding. This was the result of the most successful legislative session in Minnesota history, as far as early education is concerned. And it's an effort we hope we can replicate in every state we operate. And I'm so proud of what we've done with compensation in all the states we operate in. As an early childhood organization, we pay close attention to what state and national averages are in every state we serve, and we are committed to being a leader in each place we provide incredible early education experiences. We also worked hard to keep health insurance premiums affordable again for 2024. This is the second year in a row we worked hard to make it even more affordable. And in fact, in 2023, for many of you, premiums went down, and now in 2024, premiums will not increase for you as our incredible early educators. In addition, we also introduced a brand new benefit last year for free preventative prescription drug coverage. If you're enrolled at any one of our health insurance plans, many monthly maintenance drugs are now covered at no cost to you. And last year, we rolled out new total compensation statements to showcase the entire value of your compensation, including any benefits, childcare discounts, bonuses, and anything that we put together in a package for all of you. And you're receiving this statement at the end of the year hopefully provided you some meaningful insight. If there's anything on your total compensation statement that you don't understand, or if you're just curious how you can enhance your compensation, please talk to your director, your area director, or your district manager. And remember, one of the fastest ways to grow opportunities in our company and grow your salary is to further pursue your education. And at New Horizon Academy, we pay 100% of the cost for you to get your CDA, and we'll pay up to $13,000 for you to get your associate's degree in early childhood education. We also have significant scholarship dollars to help you pursue your bachelor's or even master's degree. If you're interested in further pursuing education, please reach out to Bev Bauman, our Vice President of Education, and she can share the options and opportunities with you. When you further your education, it creates opportunities for advancement. If someday you would like to be a curriculum coordinator, a district curriculum coordinator, an assistant director, a director, or a district manager or area director, the first major step to create those opportunities for you is to further your education, and let us help you do that. If you'd like to explore furthering your career at New Horizon Academy, the first step is to sign up for our Career Path program. If you're interested in just looking a little bit at what school leadership might look like, just let your director know. And after your career path, the next step is to go into our early childhood management training program, which will provide you even more training and preparation to take on a leadership role here at New Horizon Academy. But there are other ways you can enhance your compensation as well. In Minnesota, for example, early educators are eligible to apply for retain grants that offer annual bonuses between $500 and $3,000 based on your level of education. To date, our employees have received over $150,000 in retained dollars, and we hope those numbers continue to increase each year. In Iowa, the state has even expanded the eligibility for its wages compensation support program to early childhood educators. And we're so happy that many of our Iowa staff are able to take advantage of this opportunity. And this program was extended in 2024 to all eligible Iowa staff. So if you're in Iowa, please ask about this program and apply. In Colorado, there's a tax credit for educators that is also dependent on your level of education. But as you can see, with many of these new funding streams, these new grants and wage supplements, they're directed in higher amounts towards those early educators who have higher levels of education. And if you've been around a while, you've heard me say that public funding through advocacy is the real and only long-term solution to a sustainable model for childcare. And in our advocacy, we have two main goals. Our first is we want to continue to lift compensation and benefits for early educators who do the world's most important work. And we want to continue increasing resources so more families can afford high-quality early learning experiences for their young children. And in reality, childcare is unaffordable for most families. In fact, research shows that 50% of Americans spend more than 20% of their annual income on childcare costs. And the federal recommended amount that families should spend on childcare is 7%. In addition, childcare costs have been skyrocketing. Nationally, they're up 24% since 2019. And it's not just unaffordable. It's not even available for more than half of Americans who today live in a childcare desert. That's an area where there's not enough childcare spaces for the families that need them. And I mentioned earlier, Minnesota had the best legislative session for early childhood education in history. We were able to increase childcare assistance reimbursement rates, expand early learning scholarships, and make permanent a workforce compensation support program that helps lift the compensation for all of our early educators. And last summer, Iowa introduced a one-year pilot program to provide childcare assistance to all early childhood educators regardless of income. As a result, none of our educators in Iowa today who have children in our programs have to pay anything for childcare. And when I visited our Iowa schools and had conversations with our teachers and school leaders, I heard from many of you that this has been life-changing, helping teachers be able to see their work here at New Horizon Academy as a lifelong career. And we're advocating to make this program permanent for not only the early educators in Iowa, but we'd like to use this model in every state where we provide care to families. And now, after these huge successes, our attention really is turning to helping more middle-income families around this country afford high-quality care. And Claire and I will continue to work closely with the Early Care and Education Consortium on federal policy that will shape early care and education across this nation. I can tell you, at any table where people are making important decisions about childcare, we are there, sharing our thoughts and our opinions about how to do this better and how to transform early childhood education for families and for all of you, our early educators. And when Claire sends advocacy alerts, please take a moment to do it. We are all fighting together for more resources. And remember, the more resources we have, the more affordable we can make it for families, and the more we can invest in wages and improve benefits for you. In 2024, as we look ahead, we're going to focus on three areas. The first is occupancy level of our schools, which really means how full are our classrooms. The number one measure of a company's success is how many customers they have. Before the pandemic, New Horizon had some of the fullest classrooms in the industry. Over 80% of our childcare spaces on a given day were taken by children who were being served and learning and growing in our classrooms. But the pandemic changed that, and we want to get back to that level. But there's some good news. Last month, we saw the highest January occupancy in our classrooms since the start of the pandemic. But I am concerned. Even over last year, our infant occupancy is 2% lower, but it's still 20% lower from pre-pandemic highs. And infants are the best sign of the future health of our company. If we miss an opportunity to enroll an infant, we may miss an opportunity to care for a family for 5 or more years until we send that child off to kindergarten, not including those families often have siblings and stay with us many, many more years after that. So our goal is to at least reach 70% occupancy company-wide by May of this year, which by old industry standards is the minimum level for a childcare company to thrive. One of the best ways we can grow enrollment is keep our current families. And the best way to keep our current families is to fulfill the promise we make to those families about having quality classrooms. So let's make sure that you are sharing the incredible things their child is learning throughout the day, that we're greeting them when they arrive each day, and maintaining positive relationships with them. The benefits of full classrooms are not just financial. Fuller classrooms means less bumping of children at the beginning and the end of the day, and always getting the hours, your scheduled hours that you need. But it's also great for the educational quality in our classrooms, because research shows children don't just learn from their teachers, they learn from each other. And partially filled rooms are a missed opportunity for children to develop more connected with relationships with more children. And that is a critical part of their development. And of course, more children in our classrooms means more children get to experience high quality care. And as I said, many families in this country don't have the opportunity for their children to be in incredible early childhood classrooms. So we are in this together. And as a team, we need to fill our schools so we can carry out our mission, so we can increase compensation and benefits for all of you, our early childhood educators. The second key area we want to focus on this year is retention. Having consistent teachers in classrooms is one of the most important things we can do to help young children succeed. I just finished a book last week called The Experienced Mindset. The advice in the book is the best way to grow a business is to improve the employee's experience. Happy employees lead to happy customers. This year, we're going to continue to improve our school families and work on keeping our very best teachers. The pandemic increased the rate of teacher turnover in our entire industry, but we've recently seen retention rates start to improve, and we're going to continue to implement strategies to keep even more of our early childhood educators. We hope with our work around conscious discipline and strengthening our school families, you're going to feel more connected at work. But we are always open to your ideas about how to make New Horizon Academy an even better place to work for you. Third, we're going to continue to focus on leadership development. Our school leadership is a critical part of our school families, and we've learned that the number one thing an organization can do to improve outcomes is to strengthen leadership development programs. Our leadership plan for 2024 includes a significant expansion of leadership training for our assistant directors. And we are we're putting a group together dedicated to finding ways to strengthen leadership skills at all levels of the organization. We're also going to focus on building and strengthening our school leaders so they can provide better support to you in your classrooms and to our entire school. And how are we going to achieve these goals? We continue with this mission of continuous improvement to look at ways to better improve everything we do. And so we've been brainstorming and came up with 6 working groups. So we've asked these working groups, comprised of 8 home office employees and school employees, to discuss pain points that are present in each of our focus areas and propose actionable improvement plans. First, the school tours group. They will focus on tour training, some electronic checklists, making sure we have talking points and video examples. And they're also going to focus on some insights we gained from some of our families. They'll be discussing how we incorporate talking points and prompts during tours, and we're going to revisit ways to utilize touring tools that we already have. The second working group, the Family Experience Working Group, will focus on transitions and how to improve parent-teacher conferences, daily family communication, and other tools to support extending children's learning at home. The next group is the Classroom Experience and Conscious Discipline group. They're going to focus on how do we communicate and introduce conscious discipline to families. How do we expand and grow our learning journeys so families can really see the learning happening in classrooms, and also take another look at classroom decor. So far, this working group is brainstorming ways to make New Horizon Academy programs more marketable by showing the evidence of learning, helping to educate parents on the quality of education happening in our classrooms, and helping coach teachers on how to continue to communicate that learning to families. The next working group will focus on facilities and curb appeal. They're going to look at what is the first impression when you pull up into our parking lots, when you walk into our schools. We're also going to be looking at ways to expand outdoor classrooms into more of our schools. The next working group, leadership development, will focus on what I said was so important earlier, strengthening the leadership skills at all levels in our organization, but with a special focus on increasing leadership development opportunities for our assistant directors. Because when we live our mission of continuous improvement, it says we as leaders can never stop learning and improving our skills and abilities. As I mentioned earlier, we already have a plan to boost leadership development for assistant directors, and the working group is going to look further into what more can we do. Some considerations are adding more training and information on Compass, using LinkedIn Learning as a larger resource for employees. And last, we have our retention group, and it's focused on continuing stay interviews that many of you might have experienced with your area director or district manager, looking at that first 90 days, which we now call the welcoming period. How are we doing with onboarding? Are we providing the tools and support that new teachers need so they can thrive in our schools? And we're also looking at the entire employee experience to determine where we can make some small adjustments and sometimes more significant adjustments to improve the experience for each of you. In assembling each of these working groups, we were intentional about seeking perspective from employees who are also families in our schools, and we're also looking at different racial, ethnic, and cultural backgrounds, as well as making sure that our groups have different generational viewpoints. We know that the demographics of our employees and our families are changing. For example, 80% of our teaching staff at New Horizon Academy are now millennials or Gen Z. And now 88% of our parents are millennials. And 40% of our teaching staff are now non-white. And yet over 50% of our new hires in 2023 are non-white. So our whole company is changing, and it's changing very quickly. So we've asked our working groups to be intentional about seeking perspectives from families and from employees of different racial, ethnic, and cultural backgrounds. In addition to occupancy, retention, and enrollment rates, we're going to pay attention to other measures that make sure that our company is doing things at the top of our industry, like accreditation scores and child assessment results. For a school to become accredited by the National Association of the Education of Young Children, the school needs to achieve 80% of the requirements of NAEYC. Our company far exceeds this minimum requirement. As a matter of fact, and our accreditation scores in 2023 averaged 92.41%, far in excess of what's needed to meet the highest federal benchmark for quality. We're also really proud of how well our children are doing and that we're providing the quality that we promised to families. And it looks like by the results of how kids are doing, we are doing just that. What we're doing with young children is working. And now that we have really good data, the data shows the more time young children spend with us, the better they do. We're seeing strongest outcomes from children who are with us 4 or 5 days a week. And while social emotional development marks are outstanding, there's one thing we can do better. We can fully integrate conscious discipline into our schools and our classrooms. We've been talking about conscious discipline for years. Some of our schools are further along than others, but we've reached a time to take some collective steps together. So effective March 1st, we're going to be looking for a few minimum implementation measures of conscious discipline in all of our classrooms. First, we're going to be implementing greetings and I love you rituals. And schools will be provided with videos and a monthly structure review to help begin that implementation. Second, we will expect all of our classrooms to implement breathing as a way to deal with challenging situations, both for teachers and for children. Details on how to fully implement this will also be provided to schools in February. Third, we're going to be incorporating Wish You Well. And fourth, we're going to be introducing safe spaces in our classrooms. Videos and resources are being shared with our schools about implementing all of these practices of conscious discipline so you can feel fully supported along the way. With our ramped up plan to get to this next level with conscious discipline in all of our schools, we have also decided it's too much for Jesse Grittner to lead this alone. So we are going to be hiring a second conscious discipline expert here in our home office to provide even more support to all of you in your classrooms. Next, we have an amazing human resources team who are working hard to find ways to retain wonderful candidates and take positions as early educators with New Horizon Academy. We're also expanding our talent acquisition team, and we're continuing to be as innovative as we can to find excellent potential candidates. And we're continuing to improve how we onboard and welcome new employees during the welcoming period. After 30 days, New Horizon Academy is providing now a new second day of orientation for more in-depth exposure to what they've experienced in the classroom. This second day of orientation highlights what it looks like a day in the life of a teacher. The day will include examples of a 5-day read aloud, of how to hold a group time, and writing activities. There's time for questions and answers to help our newest teachers feel successful while giving them strategies that they have encountered in their classrooms in that first few weeks. Although it might feel challenging to get employees out for a second day, the knowledge that they're bringing back far outweighs the challenges, and it is so valuable. Another way we can better support our schools is by making more substitutes available when you are out, when you're on maternity leave, or you're sick, or on vacation. We've recently made changes in how the human resource team manages our internal substitute network, including the introduction of some new team members to our home office. We believe this restructuring will strengthen the partnership between our home office and schools. It will result in better efficiency, and we hope you'll see more substitute support. And we want you to feel confident that when you're out for an illness or taking a vacation, someone great can jump into your classroom and be with your children. I want to give a special shout out to those who are substituting in our schools. Being a substitute can be a very difficult job. You come into a school and a classroom where you don't know your coworkers, you don't know the children, you don't know their habits. It is difficult. So please, I ask all of you, welcome our substitutes. Provide them with the support they need to be successful at your school. And I can tell you, when your school needs help again, they're going to want to come back. We have so much to be proud of, including that New Horizon Academy was again named a top workplace for the 7th year in a row. We've also been named a top workplace in the USA since that award began. And I can tell you, I don't know of any early childhood companies that are brave enough to do a top workplace survey. Our industry does have its challenges with resources and what families can afford and what we are able to pay in wages and benefits. But we are proud that this is a great place to work, and I hope you know we're here to listen for any ideas you have to improve your experiences. But that doesn't mean we're not living our mission of continuous improvement just because we were named a top workplace and looking for ways to do better, because many of our best ideas come from you. So when you get a survey asking about your experience here, feel free to provide us feedback. We want to hear your ideas. We also have an incredible marketing team. They are doing so much right now. Instead of looking for families to enroll in schools, they're spending most of their time and energy helping us find new candidates to come and work here at New Horizon Academy. So this incredible creative talent they have has now been turned over to finding us teachers, though they do both, but they are really talented. In one example, they just recently launched a new careers page based on the employee journey mapping that they've been working on. So we have something on the careers page that meets the unique needs of each potential candidate. This new page features a virtual tour for prospective employees so they can see inside a school and potential classroom. What does life look like at New Horizon Academy? It'll focus on employee spotlights and so much more. And of course, our marketing team is also working hard to enroll families. They launched a new interface for our customer relationship management system last month. It should make it easier for school leadership to connect with and enroll prospective families. One of the most exciting new announcements this year that you might have heard already about when we looked at leadership development and how we continue to grow and strengthen our school families and our schools is completely revamping our mentor-teacher program to provide support and consistency across all of our schools. The mentor-teacher positions will be focused on one of three areas: curriculum and assessment, onboarding, and behavior management. Mentor teachers will be required to have or be working toward a minimum of an AA degree, and mentor teachers will receive increased compensation of $1 an hour, along with 1 hour each week of paid time outside of their classroom or ratio to spend on coaching and mentoring. We want mentor teachers to be seen as a part of the school leadership team and be treated that way. Our mentor teachers will also receive their own email addresses and business cards. They're going to be participating in 4 seminars each year, and we hope that we will connect our mentor teachers so they can create learning communities and share best practices and ideas throughout our entire company. Applications are being accepted now and must be received by February 29th. And as a reminder, our current mentor teachers will need to reapply. Applicants will have to be approved by both their director, an area director, or district manager, and then they will move to an interview process with our education team. I am so excited for this improved mentor-teacher program and the enhanced support that our mentor teachers will bring to each and every one of our schools and classrooms. Next, our IT team has been committed to 2 main improvements this year: addressing issues more quickly and visiting schools more often. Our IT team and their support partners met these goals. In fact, they visited over 75 schools, and despite a 12% increase in repair requests, they reduced average repair time by almost 20%. In fact, recent repair times have been under 20 hours, and at one point there were over 40 hours. Our IT team is also committed to continuous improvement. IT delivered a new reference check application that helps us hire the right people more quickly. They implemented automation that saves time, and soon all of our schools will have branded Sign Up Geniuses accounts. This is going to make scheduling conferences with parents and families easier than ever. We hope that you're all finding that your IT issues are being resolved more quickly. Under facilities and development, we continue to reinvest in our current schools and remodels. In fact, we remodeled 8 schools in 2023, and we look forward to even more remodeling projects as enrollment levels increase, and it provides us the ability to do so. But we're also upgrading New Horizon Academy signs to ensure our logo is reflected at all of our schools. In 2024, we are planning upgrades to 37 New Horizon Academy schools. This year, we're also looking forward to expanding in every one of our regions: in Minnesota, in Idaho, in Iowa, Colorado, and Kansas. We have a lot of exciting future plans in the works, and we're eager to hit a milestone soon this year of our 100th school. While I won't go into the detail about each and every project, I do want to share some updates in the near future and when they're expected to open. However, there's a few special projects that I want to highlight. One of the biggest challenges facing families with young children in this country is the critical shortage of childcare in smaller communities. To help address this, we partnered with a company named Cottingham & Butler, that's an insurance company based in Dubuque, Iowa, who's on the mission to expand access to high-quality care for its employees and the surrounding communities on its corporate campus. We expect our Cottingham & Butler school to open in 2025. Similar, we also are partnering with the ITA Group in West Des Moines, Iowa, to open a new employee-sponsored school expected to open in early 2025. In Minnesota, we're also excited to open a school in the community of Crystal. When you look at a map of Minnesota, where there is the largest shortage of childcare, this is one of those communities. But due to some of our success with advocacy and public funding, more families in the Crystal community can afford a New Horizon Academy experience now, and they couldn't before our advocacy. It allowed us to go forward and serve a community that is dramatically underserved. In addition, I'm excited to share New Horizon Academy we'll be entering 2 new areas of the country, Charlotte, North Carolina, and Omaha, Nebraska. We expect our first schools not to open this year, but in 2025 as well. I know sometimes people ask, why is New Horizon Academy expanding in other parts of the country? Well, we are expanding because too many children in this country don't have access to high quality classrooms, not ones that are well equipped with highly trained teachers, high quality curriculum and assessment. And we believe all children deserve much better early care and education than is currently available in most of this country. I have seen the quality of childcare in some states, and I can tell you, children deserve better. Like the kind of care you provide in your classrooms. But for so many families, there are no providers in their community that do what you do each day. As a matter of fact, there were 100,000 childcare centers in this country before the pandemic, and 16,000 still remain closed. And it's estimated those 16,000 may never reopen, and many more may close in the coming years. So we continue to follow careful and deliberate expansion plans that allows us to grow just fast enough without compromising the support for all of our other schools. I'm also excited that we continue to work on our diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging work. That's so critical. And our DEIB strategy team identified 3 initiatives around diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging that they're going to focus on in 2024. First is data usage. The second is creating employee resource groups. And the third, more communication and education. Our 2024 DEIB strategy team will be taking on this work by forming subcommittees to further explore each of these areas. We're also welcoming some new members to the team, Angie Schnellman, Christine Leonard, and Heidi Pross. I want to touch on a couple specific ways that we can create a more inclusive culture in our schools right now. In our company's history, we have at times referred to our teams as girls. This was started by and meant to be affectionate, but this can be offensive to many. Most of our employees are adults, and more of our employees are identifying as male or non-binary. I want to give you a personal example. I've been to early childhood conferences most of my life, and many times a speaker will refer to the entire audience as ladies. Every time I hear that, it takes me back. For a few minutes, I actually wonder, do they even notice that I'm here? Do I even belong in this room? We need to remain aware and considerate so everyone feels they have a place at New Horizon Academy. The second way we can create a more inclusive culture right now is honoring the names of children, families, and employees. We should always try to pronounce a name correctly and not give anyone a nickname unless they or their families give it. Parents put deep thought and cultural consideration into the name of their child, and we need to respect those names. Pronunciation is only a part of this work, however. Respect includes never joking about names we find unusual. It's never okay to make fun of anyone's name, whether or not they're there to hear you say it. I want to share a powerful video with you about why this is so important.
Youngju, you are perfect.
Youngju.
But I know it won't always feel like that. Your name will make you feel different. Like they don't want to get to know you. But I promise, there will be those who try.
Hey, Youngju.
The MVP award goes to Yeyoung-jo.
It's actually Youngju.
Youngju.
You remember what Youngju means?
It means strong and resilient. Because I know you will be.
What a beautiful name. Can you teach me how to say it?